Streaming only on Peacock.
It's only the first day of school, and one of these four made it my last.
5 enter detention.
Jesus. I think he's breathing.
You want to help?
I'm calling 911.
4 come out alive.
Simon's dead.
They think one of us did it.
Based on the #1 New York Times bestseller.
What is a secret worth killing for?
Without Simon, you get to be valedictorian.
I'm not the perfect girl you think I am.
You've never done a criminal thing in your life?
One of Us is Lying, a brand new series, streaming only on Peacock.
Holy Horcrux, it's MuggleCast, episode 35 for April 16th, 2006. At USA Network, characters are welcome. You've got what it takes to be a star. Can you believe that? Because I sure can, no offense. Enter the 2006 Show Us Your Character contest to find out if you're America's most unique character, and you can win a chance to be featured on the computer screen, the TV screen, and even the big screen. Enter MuggleNet and USA Network's character competition by visiting MuggleNet.com, then clicking on Competitions at the left. See why GoDaddy.com is the #1 domain registrar worldwide. Now with your domain registration, you'll get hosting, a free blog, complete email, and much more. Plus, as a MuggleCast listener, enter code RON, that's RON, when you check out, and get your .com domain name for just $6.95 a year. Visit GoDaddy.com today. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm Andrew Sims.
I am Ben Shane.
I'm Kevin Steck.
I'm Laura Thompson.
Why am I always last? And I'm Jamie Lawrence. Honestly, I'm last every single time.
Before we go anywhere else, first let's check in with Mike and Tan for the past week's top Harry Potter news stories.
From Studio 1A in...
Whoa. Micah, what are you doing?
Huh?
This is MuggleCast, not the Today Show.
Oh, that's right. Starting this Wednesday, the National Portrait Gallery in London will display a new portrait of Dan Radcliffe, among 40 other pieces of artwork. Dan's piece in particular was created by Stuart Pearson Wright, who is most remembered for his depiction of J.K. Rowling last September. Dan originally posed for the sketch when he was 14. Not only has Harry Potter changed the world in a drastic way by encouraging child literacy on an international scale, but has also left quite an impact on the publishers of its books. Saturday's Guardian Unlimited said, "Once, Bloomsbury was a small, well-respected, independent publisher. Now, thanks to J.K. Rowling's phenomenal success, it has more money than it knows how to spend." Speaking of J.K. Rowling, the Mail last Sunday criticized the Harry Potter author's recent article about our skinny-obsessed world and how magazines glorify being thin. The headline of the controversial article reads, "If you loathe the skinny-obsessed world so much, J.K., why did you make evil Dudley Dursley so fat?" Following this criticism of J.K. Rowling and her article, the MuggleNet staff felt that a response was needed to let them know what genuine Harry Potter fans thought about the issue. This reply was written by Andy and can be found in the Encyclopedia opinion section. A new book written by Willa Shalit entitled Becoming Myself, Reflections on Growing Up Female includes an essay from J.K. Rowling. The book contains essays from 66 other women writing about the same subject. The April 24th edition of People magazine contains an excerpt of her essay. Girl Guiding Scotland, an organization that enables girls and young women to fulfill their potential, is conducting interviews with 100 inspirational women. Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling is among those being interviewed. The interview is scheduled for May 1st. Stanislav Ianevsky, Victor Krum, and Tolga Safar, Kakarov's aide, will be attending the Elf Fantasy Fair later this month. The fair will be held the 22nd and 23rd of April in the Netherlands. Stan will be giving lectures while he is there. Additionally, Rupert Grint, along with James and Oliver Phelps, will be appearing on The Joe Wiley Show on April 19th. That's this Wednesday. The show airs between 10 a.m. and 12:45 p.m. on BBC Radio 1 in the UK. Finally, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix will be released in Germany on July 12, 2007. This is one day earlier than the US and UK because movies in Germany are released on Thursday. That's all the news for this April 16th, 2006 edition of MuggleCast. Back to the show.
All right, thank you, Micah. Now let's get to a couple announcements real quick, and then we'll keep moving along. Don't forget, MuggleCast t-shirts. You have to buy one, or else you can't listen to the show, which is the new rule around here. We're all wearing our shirts right now. I wear them to school, and I actually get noticed for once.
Yeah, when the apples hit your head.
Yeah. Also, don't forget, final reminder to RSVP for Lumos 2006, where our next live podcast will be held in Las Vegas, Nevada, RSVP by sending an email to hplive@gmail.com and then say, hey, I'm going with so-and-so many people, so we can guess, well, not guess, so we can estimate how many people are going to be showing up. Guess. I don't think we want to guess.
Guesstimate. Why don't we just guess anyway?
What?
Instead of asking people to RSVP, let's just guess.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Well, then,
I guess.
Guess.
Bad
I
joke.
guess.
Bad joke. Jamie.
500. Moving on, there's a new feature over at MuggleCast.com, and it's a little About Us page to feature everyone else who works on MuggleCast, including our new MuggleCast editor, JP, who also works over at Veritaserum.com and does VTM Live, which is Veritaserum's every other weekly news show. And the new About Us page is also where you can find a little information on each of the transcribers, because Mike is actually a poser. He doesn't do any of the transcribing. It's a few other people. No, I kid, he's not a poser. He leads the group of transcribers, and they do a great job, and it's about time that we feature them. So visit MuggleCast.com, and there's a little tab that says something that relates to Meet the MuggleCast staff that we haven't put up yet. Alright, now moving on to listener rebuttals for this week. First one comes from Dariana, 16 of Fall River, Massachusetts. She writes, on episode 33, Jamie mentions how Snape, who lives among Muggles, gets some essentials that he cannot just use magic to get. He mentioned that Snape cannot just walk into a Muggle store and use galleons, sickles, and nuts, or canutes, which I pronounce nuts. But in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 4, at Flourish and Bots, page 57, U.S. edition, Mr. Weasley is all excited because Hermione's parents are in Diagon Alley. He says, what's that you've got there? Oh, you're changing Muggle money. Molly, look. He pointed excitedly at the 10-pound notes in Mr. Granger's hand. So you can clearly convert Muggle money to wizarding money in Gringotts. Love your show. Bye. So there's our answer.
Does he mean actually changing it, like exchanging it? But because I doubt that there's a cash changing place at Flourish and Blotts.
Couldn't he just apparate to Diagon Alley and get what he needs?
The voicemail that said Flourish and Blotts, didn't it? Oh, okay, anyway. Oh, right, okay then, yeah, perhaps there is then. There probably is. That sounds like a good plan, yeah. I mean, a good theory.
Alright, this next listener rebuttal comes from Valerie of New York. She writes, in episode 34, we were discussing Quirrell and why Voldemort was sticking out of his head. If you look at the end of Book 1 on page 291 of the American version, you will see that Quirrell states that Voldemort placed himself on the back of Quirrell's head to keep a closer watch on him after his failed attempt of stealing the stone from Gringotts, not because they ran out of dinner discussion topics. Thanks, and I love your show. There's another answer that we would have gotten to, except for we're not up to that part of Sorcerer's Stone yet.
And we actually have a voicemail regarding that.
Davis11 from Texas writes, you said they only used the Astronomy Tower in the 5th book, but what about in the 1st, when they give Norbert, Hagrid's pet dragon, to Charlie's friends who were going to visit Charlie in Romania? In the book it says that they went to the tallest tower to send Norbert with Charlie's friends. Wouldn't that probably be the Astronomy Tower, since that would be the best place to see the stars?
I think we were talking about classes, in reference to using the Astronomy Tower.
Yeah, the tower. Well, when we said that we haven't seen the Astronomy Tower, we were saying it in reference to classes. Like, we've seen them in, Defense Against the Dark Arts a lot and stuff like that, but not in astronomy or at the tower.
Elizabeth, 31 from Florida, writes, hi guys, listening to you all talk about the release date of the next movie and what it might mean for release of Book 7. I couldn't help but think you were looking at it the wrong way. Scholastic and Bloomsbury are not going to make their decisions based on what WB is doing. They have their own bottom line and profits to think about. There's no way Book 7 isn't going to be a huge success, no matter when it's released. What will determine when we will see it will be how fast JKR is writing, how long it takes to edit and print, and the logistics of getting it out and into stores. I don't think we will see them on the same day, but I don't think the same summer would be out of the question.
Right. Actually, last week when I was listening to the show, since I was absent with my ACT studies, when I listened to the show, some of you Weisenheimers on here thought you had it all figured out. You're saying, oh yeah, there's no way they release them the same summer. Oh, no way. Oh, I know for sure. There's no way they release them the same summer. Well, you know what? You're wrong. I think so. I think you're wrong. Well, last time I said I thought you guys were wrong, I ended up being right. So I'm 1-0. But anyways, I just think that when else is she going to release the book? She said on her site around New Year's that 2006 will be the year that she writes the new Harry Potter book, the final Harry Potter book. So I just can't see her waiting till 2008 to release it. And the books have to be released during summertime. I mean, it's like a tradition. It's an unwritten rule. They have to be released during summertime. I'd be very disappointed if the book was released, November or December. I just see it happening during the summertime, and it probably won't end up being July 7th, 2007, which Eric seemed to be really gung-ho about.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
But I think it'll be sometime next summer, and I don't know, I'm pretty excited about it, actually. I'm looking forward to 1 month, having the book released, and the next month going to a movie premiere. I think that'll be fun.
I definitely agree, and I think that all it would do is good for the industry, because the hype, you build hype, so
Well, I disagree with Elizabeth. She's saying Scholastic and Bloomsbury are not going to make their decisions based on what WB is doing. They have their own bottom line and profits to think about. They have to talk to each other.
Okay, but seriously, it'd be a big Harry Potter extravaganza for the entire summer. They're going to make millions upon millions of dollars. Why not release the book the same time releasing the movie, because the book's going to attract a lot of interest, and then of course the movie attract a lot of interest, and and then they're going to basically cross promote each other, and they're going to generate revenue for each of them.
They're interested to release them both at the same time.
Yeah,
not necessarily at the same time though.
No, of course not.
Because then one profit can take away from the other.
No, exactly. They should do it quite a long time apart.
They should stagger it by maybe a month or two.
That's too soon.
I don't think so.
Well, why is it too soon, Jamie?
Sorry?
Do you have some Potter phobia here, Jamie?
Some what?
Why is it too soon, huh?
Because
I'm just curious why you think it's too soon to release the book and the movie.
The hype from say a film doesn't wear off before in just a month. It takes ages to wear off. You've got the DVD, you've got posters from it, all that kind of thing. If you release the book,
yeah, but they're not going to wait for the release of the DVD.
But if you release the book, say a month after the film, the DVD would come a month after that, and there's no way the hype from the book would die down enough to generate enough interest in people buying the DVD. So the DVD sales would lose out. You've got to absolutely stagger them.
Here's where you're wrong, Jamie.
I'm sorry, God. Why don't you tell me what's right?
I am God. I love you, Jamie. But here's what I'm saying. In a way, they're going to be able to cross promote each other. I mean, this is a Harry Potter phenomenon. There's millions upon millions of fans. They're still going to be the same people who are the hardcore people who are going to go out and buy the DVD. Except now, instead of going out to buy the DVD, they're going to go out and buy a copy of the book and the DVD, or they're going to go see the movie. I understand what you're saying, that it may be too much, but I still think it'll be the most profitable, the most profits they've ever seen.
Why don't they release the film at 10 o'clock and release the book at 10:05?
That'll confuse every single Harry Potter fan. Book or movie first? I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Kevin, you're going to say something?
Yeah, how long does it take them to release a DVD?
Don't know.
Like 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Yeah, so if they release the book and then a month later release the movie in theaters, then you still have plenty of time for the hype to die down. And the movie can hype the book saying, go out and purchase a book, when the book can hype the movie saying, go out and see the movie in a month.
I don't think that's right, though, because you need to have the hype concentrated around one thing, like literature or film. So, like, you see in the news for, say, 2 months after the book's release, all things about the book linked to the book. You see sort of awards for the book. You see it on shortlists, you see it on opinion polls and all that kind of thing. If you cross the movies and the books, you're going to have sort of mixed news items, and they are going to take away from one of them.
Okay, hear me out here. This MuggleCast episode is going to make history, okay? This is this historical MuggleCast moment right here. I want all of you MuggleCast listeners to get out a pen and write this down. The release of the 7th Harry Potter book will be on June 16th, 2007. Mark my words. Because I decided, okay? I have some inside information directly from Joe. Let's just put it that way. No, I'm kidding. No, I just have a hunch. Okay, that'll be June 16th, 2007. And if that's not right, it'll be released during the month of June.
I'm just not sure the book's going to be ready by next summer, because when you take into account the fact that it took her 3 years to write Order of the Phoenix and 2 years to write Half-Blood Prince, I'm just not sure that she could not only get the book written in 1 year, but then you have to consider the 2 or 3 months of editing, the printing, the cover art, the chapter art, just everything that goes into getting it ready to publish.
I disagree here. This is a Harry Potter phenomenon.
Why don't we just have a fight?
Joe's in a groove right now. He's soaring. I mean, I have a feel. I'm counting on summer 2007. If I don't have summer 2007, I'll spend all of June at Andrew's house if it.
Frankly, I don't want her to rush. I don't want her to rush at all.
I don't think she's going to rush because I see it this way. She says she's all fine and dandy with how writing is going now. All right. So by the end of the year, she says, all right, I'm nearly complete. And/or complete like she did, well, it was 2 years ago, right? Yeah, it was 2 years ago. So then after that, there's about a 6 to 7 month preparation time where everything's the cover, the publicity, but there's going to be hype no matter what for both the book and the movie because they're both so huge. And if people are worrying about, they're going to spend all their money on book 7 and then they're going to have no money to go see the movie, they're going to be spending $40 tops, food not included.
It's not the marketing that I'm doubting. I'm having a hard time imagining the book being ready by next summer, just seeing as she only started writing it in January.
Yeah, but Laura, if it's ready by next summer, I believe they're going to release it whether or not the movie is coming out.
I don't think that's impossible. I don't think that's impossible at all.
Okay, but another thing is that you have to remember is that Joe was able to, with a remarkable turnaround from Chamber of Secrets to Prisoner of Azkaban. I mean, I know it wasn't as hyped as much as it is now, but still, she was able to write those books within a year of each other.
Yeah, but they're also much shorter books.
No, especially from the transition. The Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban was released in 1999. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire was released in 2000. That proves to you that she's able to make a remarkable turnaround.
But at that time, she didn't have 2 children under the age of 5.
It's not only that, Ben, but...
So she said that she already took time off to do that, to spend time with her children.
So she's supposed to ignore them now?
Yeah, she just ignores them now.
Yeah, she doesn't ever talk to them. She just leaves them to her husband.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the length of the book that matters.
No, exactly. Of course it's not. But
it's whether she has inspiration for it.
But it's planned as well. It's planned.
I think, yeah, she isn't playing out, but I think she has plenty of inspiration to keep her going for.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I mean, it's.
What are you laughing at?
You can get in a
walk out front of her house on the street, and I bet there's going to be 50 million people out there waiting for her. And then she'll feel inspired.
Right. And another thing is we have to remember that J.K. Rowling. Everyone knows how she is. She's a big planner. She has the whole series planned out. She knows what's going to happen. It's not a mystery to her. So she knows. She has a good idea of what's going to continue to happen in each chapter. Of course, there'll be changes along the way, but she still has some reasonable idea of what's going to go on in each and every chapter. So that's why I think that the book, if it's not released during 2007, I'll probably be really, really surprised.
The one thing I'm concerned about that I think could really delay this book is Joe finalizing everything, because it's sort of like when you're doing a report or something and you just finish it and you're like, oh wait, do I have anything in here that I want to add in or take out? It's just like, because she's closing it all up, she's not going to be able to say anything else. I mean, she will, but not in its book form. So I just think she's going to be really paranoid over, is this it? Do I really want to finish it with this revision and draft,
Well, she knows she's going to have to let go sometime, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, don't worry. It's completely different to like a book report, though, because, it's going out to so many people. But that
adds to the pressure.
But also she has to... Yeah, but... she has to go back and go through every other book and make sure that what she's writing in this one ties in with that, because it's been a long, long time since she brought out the first book. She just has to make sure everything ties up, every single loose end, every single sort of theme that she's had running throughout the entire books has to continue into this one. and then everything has to flow. So, it's a monumental task. A year is going to be...
Of course, but it's the same thing. But you have to remember, it's the same thing for Book 6. They should do all the same exact things for Book 6.
No, it isn't exactly the same. That's not true.
Because she has to close everything.
No, she doesn't. There's no way she can close everything.
She is going to close everything.
She's not going to close necessarily everything, but she wants to close most of the threads that she started. So she has to make sure she does a thorough job of doing that. Otherwise, people are not going to be satisfied with it.
Not to mention, don't you guys remember right before Order of the Phoenix, like the year before it came out, she was pretty much done with the book, but she said, I want a bit more of a tweak. And we didn't see it for another year.
Yep.
Right, but Order of the Phoenix was... It took her 3 years to finish that one.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm just not sure...
I know, but... she had some serious problems with that one, and
like what?
I don't know if she was really pleased with the results. Of course, she had writer's block or something. I mean, there's some reason it took her 3 years to write it, and I know a lot of people like Book 5, but for example,
I loved Book 5.
Emerson didn't like the book.
Joe, don't worry, Joe. It was my favorite book.
I don't know why people didn't like it, but whatever. No, thing is, I don't think...
Because it took forever.
Well, yeah, it was... It's the longest book in the series.
Ben, why doesn't she just sell her children? Then she can start writing all the time. That's what you'd like, isn't it, Ben?
Okay. She can spend 2 hours a day playing with the kids.
Oh my god!
And then she can spend.
Oh, Ben!
Then she can spend another 12 writing the last Harry Potter book.
When's she gonna?
She can't eat. She can't drink.
Now moving on to chapter by chapter. This week we will be discussing Chapter 9 of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This chapter is called The Midnight Duel for an evil prank that Draco plays on Harry. Was it a prank, or was Draco, tipped off? I mean, was, Draco planning on going?
Well, Hermione said that Draco tipped Filch off.
Well, he could have been planning on going, and then he saw Filch, so he ran back.
I don't think so.
Alright. So we start off... We start off here with The Midnight Duel, and,
Oh my god.
Is that the British phone?
No, it's not.
No,
it's
that's
not.
the American phone.
Hey.
That's the Georgian
Wow, it sounds
phone.
British.
Andrew, you can't tell
Amazing.
your phone accents. What's wrong with you?
It sounds like your phone.
You call yourself a professional phone?
That sounds like a phone from the 1950s.
That's not.
Like one of those that hangs up on.
That's what it does. All right.
The first line when it says, this is what I picked off first of all. When it says Harry had never believed he would meet a boy he hated more than Dudley. I just thought the word boy had to be kind of significant, since he can't sort of hate Dudley or Malfoy as much as he hates Voldemort and now Snape.
Alright, so the beginning of this chapter is focused around Quidditch and Harry's first flying lessons that he has with Men and Pomfrey. Hooch.
Pomfrey.
I looked around my room for a second. I was like, it's alright.
I was wondering, did you guys notice that it described her as having yellow eyes like a hawk? And I was wondering if it was possible that she was a metamorph magus or something.
Oh yeah, as a hawk, yeah.
Yeah, but have we ever seen anyone whose characteristics change just because they were an animagus?
No, I think it's just to symbolize that she's a good flyer.
I thought it was interesting because we haven't really seen anyone else in the series who was human who had unusual characteristics like that apart from Tonks.
What about Umbridge?
Well, she has striking characteristics to a toad, but her eyes aren't purple. I just thought it was an interesting...
You're a magical person. You have magic blood in you. There's bound to be something crazy about you.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess.
I have the inside
I agree
track.
with Laura.
I have the inside track to Joe's.
We see people every day who kind of have sort of striking resemblances to various animals. I mean, that's a human thing.
Mm-hmm. You look like a dog.
Thanks, Ben.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Laura.
Yeah, Ben, you look like a sloth, but no one ever makes fun of you for that.
What was that?
A sloth. I look like a swan. Beautiful swan. I'm so graceful.
Wow.
All right. So Harry's in his flying lessons, and one of the first things that I found most interesting in this chapter was the quote where it says, Harry picks up the broom, and he said, Harry knew somehow what to do with the broom. What does this mean? Does this mean he is his first connection to his father?
No, it just means that he's a natural flyer.
It's natural. It's a natural...
It's like the first time you get on a bike.
Who, Ben? Who can get on a bike and start riding?
Well, actually, hold on a second. Let me go to my drawer and pull out my list of the names of people who succeeded on their first bike ride. I have an entire directory of people for you. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's people that can do it. It's like throwing a baseball. I'm just saying that some things come natural to certain people. Some people excel at certain things.
Actually, I was thinking that this line was a way of foreshadowing what was to come.
Yeah, and Andrew, that's backed up by where it starts saying, Harry ignored her. Blood was pounding in his ears. He mounted the broom and kicked hard against the ground, and up he soared. Air rushed through his hair, and his robes whipped out behind him. And in a rush of fierce joy, he realized he'd found something he could do without being taught. This was easy. This was wonderful. So Ben, do you think that they should get some people just to climb into jumbo jets and start flying because it comes naturally to them?
Okay, flying a jet is a lot more complicated than flying a car, dude.
What about just before he kicks off into the air, it gives a description of how bad the broomstick is. It says that Harry glanced down at his broom. It was odd, and some of the twigs stuck out at odd angles. Do you think that's just merely a comparison with his firebolt? So when we get to see his firebolt and his Nimbus 2000, it just makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, but we also know that they're school brooms and that a lot of different people use them, so they're likely to be pretty beat up.
I think it's reiterating that he has natural talent.
Yeah, but is that...
Agreed.
And the fact that he's a first year and he's getting a position that normally, third years would get?
Yeah, third enough, I guess.
It's showing that some superiority over that of third years,
Yeah.
I also think it's something that Harry needed to kind of prove that he is special and he is talented, because he feels like he's famous for something he can't even remember.
I was going to say, why is the trophy room always unlocked? Is it just so people can walk in and admire them and say, or for some other reason? I don't know.
Maybe it's in a foyer area.
No, it's not. It's a trophy room.
No, it's called the trophy. Yeah, it's called the trophy.
The trophy foyer.
It's called the trophy foyer.
What's
The trophy foyer.
Now, Jamie, are you referring to the fact that people may steal the trophies or something?
Yeah. People may steal them, but
you don't think there's protections?
No,
on
there's
them?
no protections at all. They just have them sitting right out there in the open.
That's what I'm saying.
But Kevin, if there's protection on them, why are other rooms locked as well? Because surely there's there can't be every single room in the entire thing.
Because there's some rooms that aren't meant for the kids to see. I mean, for example, the potion storage closet. You need to have that locked. You can't have kids snooping around the.
To a first year who doesn't know much magic, a locked door is probably more powerful than incantations, because Dumbledore's protection would beat even the most powerful of wizards. But a first year, just a locked door seems simpler.
But go into any school. I mean, the majority of locked doors will be either systems rooms or administrative rooms where the teachers hang out.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, and the majority of they're right. The majority of schools also have their trophies enchanted too.
Yeah, it's true. It's called an alarm system. You pick them up and it goes off.
Well, maybe there's a lock on the trophy cabinets instead of so they can still be admired. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe Jamie made the incantation to lock it or whatever is actually on the cabinets where you slide to open it, as opposed to the door to enter the room.
Or perhaps there's a panel of bulletproof and spell-proof glass that's just in front of it, and a sheet of ultraviolet glass, so the sun can't damage the trophies. Perhaps. I mean, I'm just speculating here, but it could be.
No, but But seriously, what?
I just think it was convenient.
Yeah, what's so unbelievable about there being glass around the trophies?
Well, I think don't you think it makes logical sense that Snape could have just unlocked the cabinets?
Yeah,
it's not
it
really
does.
rocket science. There's no use speculating over this. I don't think. I mean, Jamie, you bring up a good point about the locked doors, but in terms of the specific scenario with the trophy room, I feel that whether the door is locked.
I was actually joking when I was talking about UV glass, Ben. I must admit now.
Another thing I wanted to point out was that there's a couple of references where I think it was just Harry. There's this automatic assumption, and it seems like it's probably among all first years, that if you do one wrong thing, boom, you're automatically out of Hogwarts.
Oh, the wrong thing? Did you say?
Like, something out of line, inappropriate, whatever, like sneaking out at night, like they were doing to meet up with Draco.
Oh right. Yeah, you'd think that sneaking out wouldn't actually be that bad, because they can't expect you to like stay in your dorms all night. It just seems weird. If you have a castle, you should expect people to like walk around. Like at university where I am, you aren't expected to stay in. You walk around. You go outside at 4 a.m. if you want to. You can walk around.
Yeah,
the entire
but how
coast and
old are
everything.
you?
I'm 87, Ben. I mean, Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Right, but another thing is that like they may act that way just because they don't want to screw up and make anybody mad. If you know what I'm saying, you don't want to leave a poor impression your first time there.
But it just seems terrible that they're locked in. I don't want to say locked, but they're in their dorms all night. If they actually needed to keep them there, why don't they put incantations on them? I mean, it could be just
because that destroys all the trust because Jamie, that destroys all the trust involved. Because everything's about trust. If you lock them in there, you never really be able to truly assess their ability.
Not to
follow
mention,
the rules.
what if there's a fire? You just locked all the children in.
Oh yeah. If there's a fire, that they can. Yeah, that's true.
Not to mention,
no, but
it's expected.
Yeah.
It's expected that students
exactly.
are going to sneak
exactly.
out.
It's actually expected. Why don't they install some nice CCTV cameras hooked up to Dumbledore's laptop?
Dumbledore's laptop.
Dumbledore's laptop.
All right. Well,
okay. Yeah. Let's move on.
Well, no. I just wanted to say that I remember reading. Someone said, I wish I remember who it was, but someone mentions that it's for their own good. So there's some idea. They have an idea as to why they're supposed to be staying.
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Obviously, there's dangers in Hogwarts, so they want to keep them inside the common
yeah.
rooms
Okay. Fair enough.
and bedrooms.
That's because Dumbledore and McGonagall are shagging in the Great Hall. They want people walking in on.
Dumbledore waved his wand at McGonagall.
Yeah.
All four tables flew to the side. Neville is sleeping by the Gryffindor dorm room, and Hermione, Ron, and Harry walk past. Why did he say that the Bloody Baron had been passed twice? Well, no, sorry. Why had the Bloody Baron been passed twice? It seems like a weird quote just to include for no reason. Was there a reason for it that he come past?
Well, Mr. Skull.
Well, does he do some sort of patrolling along the corridors at night?
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, but he seems like such a nasty character. Do you really think he's been used for student safety?
Well, he could be just cruising around Hogwarts.
What else can you do if you're a ghost?
The impression I've gotten of the Bloody Baron was that he's kind of territorial, and we also know that he absolutely hates Peeves. So it wouldn't surprise me that he was patrolling the castle to make sure nothing was going on.
He hates him because he
I've
can.
gotten the impression that he's...
No. He can control him. He can.
He can.
Yeah,
Kevin
he
Stack,
can.
read your Harry Potter books.
But I have a feeling that he's patrolling to keep Peeves, among other things, in line.
Or just patrolling because he's a ghost and he's bored. And
just imagine, you would get so bored being a ghost. You'd be like, play tennis, but then you couldn't hold the racket up because it would just fall through your hands.
Oh.
Ghost tennis. I wonder if there's a ghost tennis.
The Bloody Baron doesn't talk, right? Isn't he like nearly always silent?
We haven't seen him enough to actually know if he's silent, have we? And anyway...
Well, I think he does talk, but I don't think Harry's ever heard it. Just something that happened at the end of the book.
When Harry and Hermione and Ron, or was it just Harry and Ron, were under the invisibility cloak, and Peeves was there, and Harry put on that hoarse whisper and said, "Peeves, the bloody Baron, has his own reasons for being invisible." Peeves, no, he must talk because Peeves, didn't say, "Well, you haven't ever spoken before. What's brought this on?"
It's true.
Exactly.
Wasn't Harry doing an impersonation?
Yeah, so Harry must have heard him before, too.
No, Harry could be just making it up.
Right, but he happened to be dead on, though,
Yeah, big coincidence.
Really?
Big coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, perfect example, Ben imitates Michael.
Yeah, but he's heard him, Andrew.
But you hear him all the time.
Heard Ben, but Ben's...
You don't have to hear someone to imitate them, no? I never heard...
What do you mean you don't have to hear someone? You mean Ben just put on the, "Hey, Micah," just on...
No, you can come up with your... You can come up with your own impersonation of him based on what you see. He's some old guy, so what are you going to do? An old hoarse voice.
Yeah, but sometimes images can be deceiving, though. For example... Robert Lloyd Pack, I think his name was. He played Roddy. Yeah, okay. He looked like a guy who would have a deep, booming voice, but in reality, he's like, "You will join the Magical Games Committee, or else the Goblet of Fire has chosen 4 people. But oh my, what will we do?"
All right, so the biggest part of this chapter comes when we're introduced to Fluffy, the 3-headed dog. Draco challenges Harry to a midnight duel in the trophy room, like we were just discussing, and Draco doesn't show up, and to Harry's disarray, Filch along with Mrs. Norris both show up, and that's when they begin to run up to the 3rd floor corridor, where they get into the room when Hermione says, "Oh, move over!" and they do the little spell. It's a direct relation to the book, although it's interesting that they skipped the whole midnight duel thing. I think it would have been more interesting to see that.
I know, that was one of the things that I really wanted to see in that movie.
What about the... we should talk about how Peeves talks to Filch in his sing-song voice. Now, I remember that on the site, somebody wrote that he just said... it just said blah blah blah. Peeves said in his sing-song voice, but I checked in the British version and it said in his annoying sing-song voice. Do you think there's any reason why they changed it in the American version? If they did, I don't know if they did. Can somebody check it?
Yeah, where is this?
Just before they enter Fluffy's corridor.
Let's see.
It's just they changed loads of small things. I just wonder if they really mean anything, or if they're just throwing lines for people to.
In a saintly voice.
Sorry, in what?
A saintly voice.
A saintly voice, it says.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where does it say that?
Well, saintly is...
Unless it says should tell...
Okay, one second.
Oh, annoying sing-song. I have annoying.
Oh, right, it is annoying. Okay. No, don't worry then. I thought it was just sing-song in the American
Well, I'm sure
version.
it's the same as yours.
Not necessarily.
No, Andrew has a special Andrew copy.
No, it's not. Kevin got a special one.
Oh, okay then. Well, yeah, that's just because that's why Harry, Ron, and Hermione didn't get slaughtered as soon as they went into Fluffy's den, because Peeves' annoying sing-song voice put him to sleep.
Good
Things
point.
you may have missed.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
What? Are you sure about
Yeah, it must be. Why do you think they didn't walk in and then just and he didn't kill them all?
He could be sleeping because he's trapped in there all day.
Andrew, you can't say that. Maybe he's on his bloody laptop going on the internet.
No, stop. Be real.
Stop with the laptops.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think that's a really big possibility.
It's a major plot point, too.
It's not like Peeves is in there cackling and being loud and annoying for a good, maybe a minute. That can't automatically put a dog to sleep.
It's a possibility, though.
Well, I don't know. When they played the flute at the end, he went to sleep pretty fast.
Well, that's because they knew it was a flute that could put him to sleep.
And it says about Fluffy, it was standing quite still, all 6 eyes staring at them, and Harry knew that the only reason they weren't already dead was that their sudden appearance had taken it by surprise. I don't think that's true. I think that's there to make people think that, but it's not. That isn't true. It's Peeves' annoying sing-song voice. Surely Dumbledore put Fluffy there so that if somebody came in, it wouldn't think, wow, who are these people? I'll wait for a couple of seconds, then I'll kill them, in case the person puts a spell on them or something.
Alright, well, yeah, that's an interesting point. Very clever. Alright, so they run out... what's next? There's really
no,
nothing
there
left.
is. There's just
Well, that's also one of the largest mythological connections in the series, because, yeah, he guarded the underworld.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much confirming the whole thing about the grubby little package from Vault 713 being under there.
Alright, well, that does wrap up this week's chapter by chapter. It was a smaller chapter. There wasn't as much detail to get into. Probably because Eric wasn't here. He would have still been on page 1 if he was in this right now. Next week we will be reading Chapter 10 of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, titled Halloween. I'm sure there will be plenty to talk about in here. Next up, we have some general voicemail questions for you this week. Kevin, please roll the first one.
Hey, this is Abby from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and I think I have an answer for why Voldemort decided to hang out on the back of Quirrell's head instead of some other random part of his body. Maybe because he wasn't very strong at the time, being on the back of Quirrell's head was the only way Voldemort could control him. I mean, even if he couldn't use the Imperious Curse on Quirrell, literally being in his brain would probably have the same effect. I just wanted to know what y'all thought. I love you guys. Bye.
But he wasn't actually in his brain, was he? He was just on the back of his head.
Yeah, but you are...
Did he actually penetrate his brain or not?
But Abby still does make a good point. He definitely was not strong enough to support his own body.
Some psychological effect on Quirrell.
Did he have any power, Voldemort, then? Did he have, like... I mean, was it Quirrell that had to put him on his head, or could he actually put himself on his head? Because Quirrell, I mean, instead of being... I mean, that must be a weird request. Sorry.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was the fact it's Voldemort. You don't say no.
Yeah, but if
the fear
say,
factor.
I don't know. Yeah, but if think of somebody really scary, a real life person.
If Jack the Ripper
if Jack the Ripper came up to you and said, stick a knife in you, and he was just a face on the ground, you wouldn't do it, would you? But you'd be more likely to do it if he was a real person who was, massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think of it this way. Voldemort could have found someone else to leech off of, and then once Voldemort came back to his full power, Quirrell would have been the first one to get knocked off, so...
Not to mention, Voldemort was possessing snakes and living inside of snakes.
Just put him inside a box and nailed it shut until they found all the Horcruxes, and then they could kill him. Or something. I don't know.
I think Quirrell was operating under
Right.
the assumption that Voldemort wasn't going to leave him
Yeah,
for
that's
dead.
probably right, yeah.
Hi, MuggleCasters. This is Lauren from New Jersey. While reading Chapter 9 of Sorcerer's Stone, The Midnight Duel, I was thinking about all the times Harry, Ron, and Hermione went past the fat lady in the middle of the night. Why doesn't the fat lady inform someone that there are students out of bed? I just want to hear your theories. Thanks. I love your show.
Is it her job, necessarily?
No, but I think there's an element of sort of free will around Hogwarts. You can't have just every single person informing on each other. I mean, if you think it would be so easy, with all the magic sort of occlumency, Patronuses, talking to other portraits, it would be so easy for everyone to know what everyone was up to, but it just would not work like that. I don't think the school could get away with telling the portraits to inform when people did anything wrong.
Yeah.
It just takes away free will completely.
Yeah, I think there's a level of trust at Hogwarts. And
Yeah,
it's dealing with the fact that the magic enables you to spy on someone almost exclusively. Anytime, anywhere you can spy on someone. So there's a level of trust that they have to maintain so people don't.
I was going to say, I think that it has something to do with who the headmaster is. Because I think Dumbledore just sort of operates on, if I don't hear about it, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it really bothers him that much if students are out of bed, as long as they're not doing anything destructive.
Yeah, but the headmaster is still accountable to the governors. I mean, it seems weird. I mean, it seems like the governors in Chamber of Secrets were all sort of nice people, apart from Lucius, because it seemed like he bullied, all of them into signing that thing for Dumbledore's disposal. But it'll be interesting to find out how much say the governors actually have,
if any,
because it does seem like it's just Dumbledore that basically runs things. But I don't know.
I think there should be more of a concern over why did the portraits have to leave during the day or night? Because what if someone really needs to get in? And perfect example was just here in Chapter 9, and no one's in there.
Well, they don't have to leave; they choose to.
Yeah, but But if they had to stay there, it would everything would just be too perfect. You know, it would be like you can't. It's basically a real person there. You can't expect them to hang around forever, and it would just be too easy to do everything. If you know what I mean, there just seems like there's a degree of uncertainty with the magical world with stuff like that, and that's what makes it so different and interesting.
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I'm from Newfoundland, Canada, and I have a question for Mr. Ollivander. At the beginning of Philosopher's Stone, when Harry goes to Diagon Alley to get his wand, Mr. Ollivander tells Harry about his parents' wand, and he mentioned that James' wand was good for transfiguration and that he favored his wand. Do you think this means that he knew James and Sirius and Peter had become animagus? Love to hear what you think. Thanks, bye.
Well, do you think that Ollivander can tell just from a wand if it's good for transfiguration? I mean, do you think that Phoenix Feather is particularly good for charm work or transfiguration, or that the Dragon Heartstring is good for a different type? Or was it just that one person with a certain wand can?
Yeah, I don't think he can predict how the wand is going to be used.
But he said that the wand was good at transfiguration rather than that James was good at transfiguration.
That's true. So it could depend upon what the wand's core is and the way the wood of the wand is made and how it's carved and stuff to determine maybe what spells it'll be best at. I mean, I don't think it'll make it really bad at doing certain things. Just maybe the wand will be better at excelling in certain areas, like transfiguration.
Yeah, that's what I think. And I don't think it necessarily means that the person the wand chooses is going to be good at that particular.
Right. It's like saying
thing.
If you give somebody, let's see, if someone learns a skill, okay, like a driving skill, they learn to fly an airplane. You don't start them off with a big Boeing 747. You start them off with a small 4-passenger plane, and then eventually they work their way up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also, Ollivander said that Lily's wand was good for charms, but we found out in Half-Blood Prince that potions was her best subject.
Right. Yeah, but there's no wand work in potions.
No, there isn't, but you would think that if the wand's best ability was the person's best ability, that she would be best at charms.
But it's like, do you think two people with completely identical skills, you can have one with a better wand, so he'd win in a duel? Because Ollivander says that Voldemort's wand was, you and exceptionally powerful.
It's possible, but I think it falls more on the skill of the person than the wand itself.
Right, but he's saying in a theoretical world, if the two people have identical skills, could the wand make the difference?
Some wands, it just seems like, 13 inches, it just seemed like that sounded like a really powerful wand for any type of work. It just seems like every single spell could have 110% power, whereas any other wand would only give it, a certain amount of power.
Right, but it also depends on, it also depends on the magical ability of the person. I think it depends a lot more on that. I mean, maybe do wands have any effect on how fast the spell's transmitted, even, or do wands? We haven't really seen the relationship between a person and the wand and how the magic transfers through it. If you know
I
what I'm
would
saying.
love to know what wand Dumbledore's got. That'll be very interesting to find out. You can't say that, Kevin. That's not right. Don't say that.
He's not dead.
Yes.
Dumbledore's not dead.
Hey, Kevin, he still has his wand. It could be buried with him.
But he's not alive.
Wait, didn't they? No, I thought I remember hearing something they burn it or something. Weren't we talking about this a few weeks ago?
Yeah, they don't keep it. There's some ceremony with it.
Really?
Yeah.
So he doesn't have his wand.
Yeah. I can't remember where we heard that, though.
We heard it on the grapevine.
We just made it up, Andrew.
We heard it on
No, Joe.
We're starting rumors, hoping that they'll make J.K. Rowling's rubbish bin.
Oh yeah, she did. That's the one. Yeah.
I forgot.
We just completely forgot.
She called on her bat phone. All right, next voicemail.
Hi, this is Sarah from North Carolina, and I was wondering how Hermione's parents get to Diagon Alley if they are Muggles. Thank you, and I love you. Bye.
Well, Sarah, I think it's just something as simple as the wizards open it up for them.
Even though they can't see the building?
No, they can't. Hold on. I think it's like the same idea. Could a squib see the leaky cauldron? I think so. I think once your mind has been opened to the magical understanding, that you know, that you realize that the magical world exists and that you acknowledge its existence, then you'll be able to see it. It doesn't actually depend on whether or not you have magic in your blood.
But Ben, Muggles can't see Dementors. But, I mean, it just seems weird that if you're told what they are, it just seems weird that you can't see them.
Well, that's a good point, though. Like, Mrs. Fig, she's a squib, and she can't see the Dementors.
She understands a great deal of the magical world, obviously.
Either that or something about the wizard telling you that the location's there is sort of like a secret keeper kind of thing in a much larger sense.
I wonder what actually makes a wizard, though. Is it like... I mean, this is going to get way too technical. But, like, I don't know. Do you think it's like...
Didn't Joe mention genes? Doesn't it have something to do with the genes and dominant, recessive, and all that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she may have done, actually. But does that mean it's like a DNA thing? You know, being a wizard? Your DNA structure. Like Spider-Man.
Next voicemail comes from Kendra of Virginia. Hi, that kind of rhymes.
Hi, MuggleCast. This is Kendra calling from Salem, Virginia. I just wanted to tell you guys about something I realized after reading Half-Blood Prince 6 times, and that is that Snape can't be the Half-Blood Prince. On page 337 of the U.S. edition, Lupin asks Harry how old his advanced potion-making book is, and Harry replies, I don't know, I've never checked. About a paragraph down, Harry checks the date on his book. He turned the pages, searching, until he finally found, at the front of the book, the date that it had been published. It was nearly 50 years old. Neither his father nor his father's friends had been at Hogwarts 50 years ago. Harry throws the book into his trunk and goes to bed. Just wondered what you guys thought. Thanks, your show is great. Bye.
It was his mother's book. That's why it was old. It was secondhand.
Really? Is that actually true?
That doesn't necessarily have to be his mother's book. It could be...
Yeah, it could be anyone's book.
I always assumed that it was his mother's, just because it just seems like it would make sense. It was at least some kind of secondhand book. I get that in book mistakes all the time.
Snape clearly is, the Half-Blood Prince, but apart from him saying it and the mother evidence, is there anything else?
No, yeah, but there's no doubt that he is. He's not the person to brag about something that...
No, I agree.
So the evidence is him saying that he is a Half-Blood Prince. Because he is.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. I think there was just a lot of confusion with people overlooking the fact that the book was old. That it was secondhand. I don't think a lot of people caught on to that, because I get that in book mistakes so often. It's actually kind of annoying.
Alright, that wraps up this week's voicemails, and that wraps up the
That's
oh,
what
wait.
I'm saying.
Wait, why don't we just get rid of Kevin and keep going?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin, get out.
So, I'm all set?
Alright. Kevin, leave.
Okay, bye, guys.
Leave, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Bye.
We'll miss you. We'll talk about you behind your back.
See you later, guys.
Oh, thank God I can stop putting that act on.
What act?
Yeah.
Alright.
Come on then.
Now this week, we're going to try out a new segment. We're going to put it through our beta testing, which means absolutely nothing. This week, we're going to try a new segment that we will tentatively call Favorites, where we pick one topic relating to whatever it is Harry Potter, and we each go around the table and say why it is our favorite blah. So this week, how about we start with favorite actor of the Harry Potter series?
Well, I know mine, but I'm going to get hate mail for it. I really like Michael Gambon. I think he is awesome. He's fabulous. Well, I think that he really portrays Dumbledore very well. I appreciate Richard Harris's portrayal, but I feel like Michael Gambon definitely gets more of the feistiness and more of the excitement, and I sort of see that twinkle in the eye more with him than I did with Harris.
Laura, I'd actually have to agree, but since you already said Michael Gambon, I will say Alan Rickman, like you briefly mentioned, because I think he has the same style that Gambon has. He's very... I don't even know how to explain it. He's very... He really is a perfect Snape, yeah. He's just... I don't even know what to say. Oh, he's just incredible. I just love him. Words cannot reach.
Andrew fangirls Alan Rickman.
For me, I'd have to go with Alfie Enoch.
What's that, Ben? It's a really random character to choose. Actor.
His portrayal of Dean Thomas is amazing. Oh, geez, I've never seen such a good portrayal. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it has to be Evanna Lynch. I'd say. Yeah, she's the best actress I've ever seen.
Wait, Ben, you shouldn't jump to conclusions here. I mean, we haven't even seen her in a film.
Well, I was actually going to make a fan site about her.
Who, Ben? Who?
Why would you do that? You haven't even seen her yet.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'll just jump on the bandwagon like everyone else.
Oh.
Okay, in reality, my favorite actor would have to be Robbie Coltrane, who plays Hagrid, because he does an excellent job as portraying Hagrid, and I think there's no doubt about that. Jo has said so herself, and she created him, so you can't argue with that. And for my favorite actress, well, of course, is Emma.
Oh yeah, you love her.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
She's so darn pretty.
Can you give us a Rubius Hagrid impression?
Oh, what do you want?
I think they're perfect.
Rubius Hagrid, keeper of the keys at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
That's good, Ed. That's good, Ben. Well done.
Yeah, that's great. Jamie, how about you?
Okay, favourite actor. I think Michael Gambon's awesome as well. I really like how he's done Dumbledore. I thought Richard Harris, the late Richard Harris, was exceptionally good as well, but I just feel Michael Gambon really gets it. I think Tom Felton's really good as Malfoy as well. I think he brings him across really well. And I really like Rupert as Ron. I think Rupert's really good as Ron.
Well, that was fun. If you guys have an idea for a favorite thing that you want us to talk about here on the show, email it to, not favorites, MuggleCast@staff.mugglenet.com and put in the subject line, favorites.
Excellent. Oh, and another little update here before we finish up the show. It's about the P.O. Box. Remember, please send in your things to MuggleCast, P.O. Box 223, Moundridge, Kansas 67107. I also like to thank Kalasma, who responded very generously to my request for power bars and sent a box of about 50 billion gazillion of them.
Now let's do a dueling club, and then Jamie will enlighten us with his latest British joke of the day. Dueling club, we're going to do a little different this week. This one was actually sent in by Brian, 17 from Houston, Texas. This was sent in about a month ago, but we've sort of put the dueling club on hiatus since then. But then we started getting emails saying, "Hey, where'd it go?" Yeah, it's been on the back burner, cooked on
on the back burner, right?
Burner,
right, Andrew, on the back burner.
Burmer. They call them Burmers in Jersey.
Yeah.
All right. Brian had an idea for the dueling club back burner, and he said he asked, how about a 16-year-old Voldemort versus a 16-year-old Dumbledore? Thanks, guys. Love this show. Voldemort versus 16-year-old Dumbledore.
I don't think we know enough about Dumbledore when he was young. Well, hold on. He was a Triwizard champion, isn't that right?
I don't think that was ever said, but we know that he did things during his owls or newts or something.
Yeah.
That the instructors had never seen before.
Well, that's what I meant.
About that.
Disregard the comment about the Triwizard champion, but yeah, that's true. Since he was so well accomplished, I don't know. But then again, at the same time, Voldemort was able to create Horcruxes when he was around that age.
I think I'd have to go with Dumbledore just because he's so much more open-minded, and that seems to be
Voldemort's weakness.
One of Voldemort's weaknesses, yeah.
And actually, technically, there wasn't a 16-year-old Voldemort. He was Tom Riddle. Ooh.
Yeah, all right. Well, then a 16-year-old Tom Riddle.
I don't know. I think Tom Riddle... I don't know who was more advanced at the time. I think that'd be interesting to see.
You gotta get closer to the mic.
Okay, sorry.
Dropped out a lot.
Dumbledore was more advanced.
Say it again.
I think Dumbledore was more advanced. He knew more actual magic then, whereas Voldemort, I think, was sort of more interested in the theory, so he could get more powerful when he left school.
All right, so thanks, Brian, for that dueling club submission. And if you have any of your own that you'd like to send in, because we're all about taking your thoughts and ideas and suggestions and putting them into the show. So you can email whatever you want to MuggleCast@staff.mugglenet.com. Now it's time for Jamie's British joke of the day, which cannot receive submissions. This is straight out of Jamie's brilliant head.
There's a guy called Merv, and he was in a really bad accident at work. And he fell through a floor tile and he ripped off both of his ears. Okay, and he was permanently disfigured. So he settled with the company he was working for a large sum of money, and then he went on his way. And one day he decided to invest his money in a growing telecom business called Plexus Communications. After weeks of negotiations, he bought the company outright. But after signing on the dotted line, he realized that he knew nothing about running such a business and quickly set out to hire someone who could do that for him. The next day, he had set up 3 interviews. The first guy was amazing. He knew everything he needed to and was very interesting. At the end of the interview, Merv asked him, "Do you notice anything different about me?" And the gentleman answered, "Why, yes, I couldn't help but notice you have no ears." Merv got very angry and threw him out. The second interview was with a woman, and she was even better than the first guy. He asked her the same question, "Do you notice anything different about me?" And she replied, "Well, you have no ears." Merv again was very upset and tossed her out. The third and last interview was the best of the 3. It was with a very young man who was fresh out of college. He was smart, he was handsome, and he seemed to be a better businessman than the first 2 put together. Merv was anxious, but went ahead and asked the young man the same question, "Do you notice something different about me?" And to his surprise, the young man answered, "Yes, you wear contact lenses." Merv was shocked and said, "What an incredibly observant young man. How in the world did you know that?" The young man fell off his chair, laughing hysterically, and replied, "Well, it's pretty hard to wear glasses with no ears." It sounded like I was reading that straight off www.funny.com. I may well have been.
Alright, so Jamie, before we wrap things up, we actually have one other announcement relating to MuggleCast and how cool you are and like all that.
Well, everyone should have heard it if they've been checking the site already, but it is a live podcast taking place at Collectormania 9 in the UK on April the 29th, which is in a couple of weeks. We should be talking to Robert Pattinson, Cedric Diggory, James Knott, Oliver Phelps, and some other Harry Potter stars, hopefully, who aren't confirmed yet. And in addition to that, we are, as you should know, holding a competition to win a place on the podcast, and you can meet the stars beforehand and appear on the podcast panel and speak to them and ask them questions, all that kind of thing. And in addition, you get a gold pass to Collectormania, which is worth £175, which lets you join the back of any guest queue to get autographs. You can go backstage, and you get a big goodie bag with loads of autographs and stuff at the end. So please see the site for further details on how to win. Thank you, and goodbye.
That is a great prize. It'll be in the show notes. There will be a link there to all the information that you need, and that podcast will be recorded and will be going up on MuggleCast. Will be going up on the MuggleCast feed. So we're really looking forward to that. When is that?
That is in a couple of weeks, April 29th.
29th, so we'll have it up. It'll probably be the May 6th show.
Or something like that, yeah.
Cool. I like it. Thank you, Jamie. And that does wrap up MuggleCast 35. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Once again, I'm Andrew Sims.
I am Ben Shane.
And I'm Jamie Lawrence and Kevin Steck.
I'm Laura Thompson.
Laura can be found at laura-thompson.com. I can be found at Andrew Sims, that's with the Z.com. Jamie Lawrence can be found at .com. Good night, everybody!
Hey MuggleCasters, this is Jessica from Brigham Young University in Utah. I just wanted to say that no matter what Pottercast says, you are the truly best Harry Potter podcast ever. And Jamie, I love your accent. Keep talking, man. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey MuggleCast boys and Laura. This is Maria from Ottawa, Canada, and I just wanted to say I love your show. You guys make me laugh so much. So keep up the good work. Hey, bye.
Hey MuggleCast, this is Chelsea from Massachusetts. I'm 16 years old. I'm just calling to say that I love MuggleCast. Recently I have the flu, and I listen to your show every single day, and you guys made me laugh a lot. And also, when my teacher was rude to me and my class, made us stay after school after I came home, you made my day feel like I just went to the moon and back. So, thanks a lot, MuggleCast. Love your show. Bye.
Hi MuggleCast, this is Cyrus Day from Canada. I just wanted to let you guys know that I really love your show. I want to thank you guys for keeping Harry Potter alive in our hearts and giving us things to discuss in between the books and the movies. Anyways, MuggleCast and MuggleNet rock. Bye!
Dear Ben, I freaking love you. I think we should get married, like, right now. Okay, thanks. Rosanna from California. Yeah. Bye. Hi, this is Kelsey from Ohio, and I just got done recording iMuggle 11. I just wanted to let you know how great I think your show is, and how much all of us fans appreciate what you give back to us. So, thanks for keeping the show nice, and we love it. Bye.
Oh yes. Hey Ben. I have to go in. I have to go in about half an hour because I've got to play a violin orchestra. I haven't ever played the violin before, but I just hope I'm a natural.
Alright, the joke's old now. Let's try to stay on topic and get it done in another half hour. There's a character in all of us, and now you can share your unique character with the world at showusyourcharacter.com. Join now and begin uploading your videos, photos, and profile. You can share a hidden talent, show off your celebrity impersonation, or give the Show Us Your Character community a glimpse into your life. Chat and interact with thousands of other members and get to know some of the characters of the USA. You've got what it takes to be a star. Enter the 2006 Show Us Your Character contest to find out if you're America's most unique character, and you can win a chance to be featured on the computer screen, the TV screen, and even the big screen. Enter now at MuggleNet.com by clicking on Competitions at the left.
This is Robert Langdon. I teach symbology. The suspect called him.
From the author of the Da Vinci Code.
He wants me to locate an ancient portal.
We have to finish this, or my dad is dead.
Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. Streaming now with new episodes every Thursday. Only on Peacock.